I don't have any tooth. I'll admit it. I will brag. Those players did not just go and whip that ass for us to be like, oh, good game. No, we whipped your ass. We took $800,000. Now we're partying with it.
Yeah, who cares if you're in the Power 5 conference if you don't win it, ever? Or you don't beat any of the teams in it? Like, what's the point of that? Wouldn't you rather win the conference and say, like, hey, my team is good, than lose the conference and say, well, our conference is good?
Well, I'll tell you what, I got two teams that got me gassed up. It's going to be a hell of a battle. Be like two dogs fighting over a milk bucket.
Look, they don't call me Tip for nothing. And my tip is, look out for the group of 5 this season. They've been taking it to the Power 5 year after year.
The only quarterbacks that ever get any love are from the Power 5. I could easily list off the top group of 5 quarterbacks I would rather have than those guys. I would be willing to bet that at least one of them is going to be in the running for the Heisman this year.
Welcome, everybody, to the Group of 5 Guys podcast, episode number 26 coming at you. We're coming at you 3 weeks in a row. Don't forget to subscribe, like the YouTube channel, Spotify, Apple Podcast, all the above. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, and like our Facebook page. All those are going to be at Group of 5 Guys. I'm Matt Sprouse, your host. We got a great show for you tonight. We got another good guest for you, an infamous guest. As the Swag Bear calls it, the shotgun heard around the Sun Belt. We'll let you know who that is here in a little bit. But let me go around the horn. Jesse Grisham, go to you first. How are you, good sir?
Excellent, Sprouse. Hope all you boys are doing fantastic out here on this beautiful March night. I got to tell you, had a great weekend this past weekend. Hidden gem in Georgia is downtown Alpharetta. Went to John Tafford Bar Rescue. Went to his bar, downtown Alpharetta. Excellent atmosphere. So many bars surrounding the area. There's like a little turf field, too, for a bunch of the kids to go and play two-hand touch football and soccer and tag and whatever. But there's all these little kiosks surrounding it for you to go get some beers. Michaela told me, she's like, let's go around the field so we don't run into anybody. I said, them damn kids don't own the park. I said, I'm walking right through it. So here I go. I'm walking through the turf field. This is before I got to Taffords. Get a little pregame buzz going. Walking to the kiosk, and some kid just doesn't see this bronze of a man and just runs right at me and turns, and my elbow, I stick him right in the dome right there. He goes, oh, that hurt. And he looks at me, and then he just starts bawling, crying, runs to his father. And I'm like, Michaela, we got to go. And then I go to the kiosk, and I'm just looking behind me. Michaela's like, are you okay? Are you okay? I was like, I just struck that kid. I do see him in the distance there. The mom's holding him tight. The dad's over here just making sure he's fine. Some 30-year-old, 300-pound man just knocked their son out. Other than that, though.
Good weekend.
Yeah, it was a good weekend. Tafford's place was awesome. Yeah, I give it a solid B-. Would have been A+, but that kid's father is probably looking for me.
How old a kid did you say he was? About
he was
10?
10. He's 10 or 11. Like
yeah. He'd be a couple years. A Group of 5 Guys is going to be big. We're going to be a primetime show, and we're going to get canceled by some kid because he's going to have an assault charge come up on Grisham from 10 years ago.
Y'all, I mean, here, honestly, like my elbow was sore the next day. Like I know he's swollen. He is swollen like a jellyfish.
Yeah, all right then. Well, keep going around the horn, Jeff Murphy. It's good to see you, my friend.
Good to see you, boys. Another week in the saddle. Man, good weekend. We had a lot of combine stuff going on, so fired up to kind of go over that. Because, see, here at the Group of 5 Guys, our journey does not just end once they graduate, because we're all about putting guys to the next level. So we got some Group of 5 news to report about at the combine, some guys making some big-time noise, and guys fired up for the hotline. Debut these calls, man. We had some great calls over the weekend. We're going to play those a little bit later. And just remember, you got a hot take, something going on, Group of 5 related, or if you just want to vent to us, man, give us a call. That number is 615-900-4286. Give us a call, man. Talk about it.
Hotline is big time. We got I know Jeff's excited to play. We got a couple really good ones for you today, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We'll go to Zeke Anderson. It's good to see you. It looks like you are finally at home in your abode tonight. How are you?
I am doing well. It has been a couple episodes since I've been on, and yes, I've been on the road, so I'm happy to be home. Got a good connection going on here, and I am fired up about that hotline. I cannot wait.
There ain't no doubt. And last but certainly not least, Tyler Tipton. How are we tonight?
Doing fantastic, Sprouse. Great to see you, boys. Excited to talk about the combine that happened over the weekend. And Sprouse, it's good to see that you have a good professional franchise hat on for this episode.
That's right. Number 1 seed in the East. And don't look now, Florida Panthers as well. Number 1 seed in the entire National Hockey League. Most of you probably didn't even know we had a hockey team down there. We are the mecca of professional sports right now, especially now that Jeter's out of there and Marlins are probably going to win it all this year if we play baseball. But anyway, Tip, we had the combine going on, and let me tell you, these group of 5 guys are putting on a clinic. So I know you got some of the numbers, some of the top performers by position group. What do you got?
Yeah, I do. So I want to give a shout out to some of these group of 5 players that were the best in their drills at their position. You had the most bench press reps for linebackers was Chad Muma from Wyoming.
Mm-hmm.
You had a lot of best vertical jumps coming at you. Here you go. We got best vertical jumps for wide receivers. You had Alec Pierce from Cincinnati.
Yep.
You had best vertical jump for tight ends, Isaiah Likely from Coastal Carolina.
Yeah, buddy.
Mm-hmm.
Best vertical jump for defensive ends, Dominique Robinson from Miami of Ohio. Best vertical jumps for cornerbacks, Tariq Woolen from UTSA. Best broad jump for tight ends, Daniel Bellinger from San Diego State. Fastest 3-cone drill for linebackers was Darian Beavers from Cincinnati. Number 1 quarterback in 40-yard dash, vertical jump, and broad jump, Desmond Ritter from Cincinnati, obviously. Number 1 wide receiver in the 3-cone drill and the 20-yard shuttle was Calvin Austin III from Memphis.
Dude, those guys, man, first of all, there's so much to take away from that. Group of 5's got tight ends galore this year. Likely, McBride, kid there from San Diego State, kid from Nevada, are all big-time players. And then Cincinnati, man, I mean, if you didn't think that they were talented enough to be in the playoff this past year, you go watch this combine and then just wait until you see where all these guys get drafted. I mean, Sauce Gardner, I mean, that guy, every clip I watch of him, every time I see him do a workout, see a thing on Instagram, I'm like, this guy's legit. And I hope to God somehow he falls in the lap of a team that I root for. But
yeah,
he's unreal.
He's the real deal, Sprouse. And not only on the field, what I really loved about him was his interviews. I mean, they were everything that, you would want to hear from a guy like that. And I got 2 clips I'm going to play real quick. The first one, a reporter asked him why he thought he was the top corner. So let's listen to this clip real quick.
Sauce, what makes you the best defensive back in this draft?
My competitive spirit, my love for the game, I truly believe I'm the best cornerback. I put the work in, unseen work, unrequired hours. I make sure I'm leading by example. I'm not a smoker, not a drinker. I never have, never will. I just make sure I do the little things right.
And Sauce, who's the toughest wide receiver you ever had to play against?
I'd probably say Calvin Austin.
Calvin Austin?
He was a smaller receiver, and I wasn't used to it my sophomore year.
You're used to it now, though, right?
Oh, yeah, most of that.
I mean, is that not what you want to hear from a guy coming out of the draft?
No question. And it's good to hear from a corner also.
Yeah.
I think DBs sometimes, and I'm guilty of it, give them that bad rap of being, they're all super cocky. They kind of unaware of situations and everything. But that guy, man, and then to say Calvin Austin's the best receiver he played against right after, a couple weeks after going against Bama's guys, but Calvin Austin, dude, he put on a show too, man. I mean,
he sure did.
He did. Can I talk more about Calvin Austin, please?
Please do, Tyler.
I seriously think, maybe this has changed since his combine results, but he's currently projected. NFL.com currently projects him as a day 3 draft pick. I think he's going to be the biggest steal in this draft. I mean, you want to look at these numbers from the combine. He proved that he is the overall best athlete in this year's draft. He was 5th overall in the 40-yard dash, number 3 for wide receivers. He was number 3 for wide receivers in the vertical jump. He was 2nd overall in the broad jump. He was 4th overall, first wide receiver, like I mentioned earlier, in the 3-cone drill. He was 3rd overall, first wide receiver in the 20-yard shuttle. I mean, this guy has had back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons. He's had 19 receiving touchdowns in the last 2 seasons. He's had a kickoff return. He's had a punt return. Jesse, if you remember, he had that infamous that punt return that who were they playing against that game? The
Mississippi State Bulldogs?
Yes, that one.
Yeah, that shouldn't have counted, so that should be deducted. He is a good player, though.
But it did count.
Sure did.
But some of these weaknesses that NFL.com has on him, I have these like broken out into 2. I have some of these weaknesses that I feel like can be improved through like practicing and coaching. Needs to create a cleaner catch window. Okay, we can practice that. Inconsistent selling his vertical push off the snap. Okay, bad habit of fielding punts inside the 5-yard line.
I think that's a good habit.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it can be, especially when you have
Scared
his
money
speed.
don't make none, right?
These other weaknesses, to me, in my opinion, are completely pointless. If they say he's a small target, yes, he is 5'8", 170 pounds. I mean, I get it, but Tyreek Hill's a small target.
Yeah.
Julian Edelman and Wes Welker were both small targets. They had pretty good careers. Can be knocked off the route path by physical coverage. Yes, that's also true, but you're not going to have these NFL defensive back or linebackers or safeties up on pressing him every single time, because all it takes is one time for him to get out of it and he's gone and he's going to score on you. Can be badly beaten when competing for 50-50 throws. Well, no shit. I'm not throwing a guy that's 5'8", a fade route in the end zone. I'm just not going to do that. So, like, he's never even going to be put in that position.
Can I say something too real quick?
Yeah.
Like, probably his biggest thing going for him, besides just his all-around talent, he has the name, right? Because when you're going to draft a player, he has to have the name. You know, like DeAndre Hopkins, Julian Edelman, Cole Beasley. I honestly think that his name goes with a guy that I would put on my fantasy team. So I think that's what a lot of the owners are going to look at. Calvin Austin. I mean, come on.
Calvin Austin the 3rd too.
Oh yeah, the 3rd.
Even better. Yeah.
Isn't there already a Calvin Austin in the league? Like he was good for a few years, and then
Calvin Johnson. Yep,
he was a pretty good player.
Yeah. Was there not another Calvin Austin?
You're thinking of
Tavon Austin.
Tavon Austin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Calvin Austin. Like, he's got the name for it, and owners are definitely looking at that because they want to see how it looks like on an NFL card, how it looks on the roster, how it looks like when he's going to say, Calvin Austin the 3rd, Memphis. It's got to roll off the tongue. So he'll be all right.
If you can get a guy day 3 in the 4th through 7th round that can be a slot receiver and that can return kickoffs and return punts, that's a steal in my opinion.
I think
Is that going to be your first draft in the fantasy league tip? Is that going to be you're going to take him?
I'll probably take him in the last round.
All right.
Why not?
Here, boys.
I mean, plus, of all those so-called negatives you just said, I mean, you just heard arguably the best corner in the draft, who is a big physical corner, say he was the hardest guy he had to play against.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I mean, sure, ideally you go up there, you jam him, you keep him on the line. But if he gets loose, he catches the ball, on a little one-step slant, and he's gone.
He doesn't have just speed. He has track speed. He went to Memphis for track, but he couldn't get a scholarship in both football and track, so he chose football. I mean, he's got track speed.
These guys at the combine, okay, this is Power 5, Group of 5, FCS, Division II, everybody. 32 guys ran sub 4.4. That's insane.
Yeah.
Wow.
You remember, like, we all know, you remember being in high school and in college, and everybody what do you run? 4.5, 4.5, 4.5. Everybody runs a 4.5, and they don't really run a 4.5. They run like a 4.8. But these guys are running sub 4.4. That is flying.
Dude, I remember Dion was like Deion Sanders was like the only guy at the time that was doing that, and now you have all these kids that are doing it. So it's just a different time, different training.
That's right.
All these
Let's
guys
go
just
around
have
the
so
table.
much more access to information and all these things to help them run.
Hand on it. Let's go around. What is your best 40 time in your whole life you ran? Best 40 time you ever ran. Starting with you, Jeffrey.
4.65. It's the fastest I've ever
Really?
ran. Yeah. That was at middle, right when I got there.
Zeke Anderson, best 40 time you ever ran.
4.67.
Yeah,
we got some speedsters on this damn podcast. Tyler Tipton.
4.59.
Oh,
come on.
He played soccer too. You got to remember this. So, Matthew.
5.11.
See, this is where I know I'm about to get a lot of crap, and I probably set myself up for this. Best one I ever did was a 5.1. So you mean tell me you're the slowest one here?
Well, I know that I would smoke you by 2.5 seconds right now.
No doubt. Heck, I remember.
When did you run that?
I did too. My freshman year, I ran a 5.1.
Freshman of high school?
In TSU.
Oh.
Y'all need to understand something. I wasn't just, I'm not going to get to it. I ran a 5.1. Now, my junior year, ain't no shot. I was going to run no 5.1.
I remember.
265, 270, Jesse. I ran a 5.1.
Did you pull your hammy?
Up in the me and you both pulled a hammy our sophomore or junior year that summer.
I'm confident.
I was shooting for the 5.1 again, and it just popped.
Yeah, I was confident that I was going to break my own personal record in that, and then with about 15 yards left, and then
that was a great workout day. I remember we had good squats in, and we knew we weren't really conditioning. It was squat day, so everybody's nice and lathered up.
Yeah,
I mean, 20 yards in.
But here's the thing, I know that these guys running these sub 4.4s that's super fast. But we all were talking off the air, like some of the GMs, Murph, especially your Raiders, they just fall in love. They see a 4.3 anything, and they think like I got to draft it. But the difference between a 4.3 and a 4.4, or even a 4.5, when you're talking about 40 yards and even 100 yards, is like, it's like.
Yeah,
like they're step for step, and so don't get carried away. Oh, this guy broke the 40 record. He's all you got to do is just send him on a go route. He's going to beat everybody. It ain't like that. First of all, you got to release off the line, and then you got to hope that the corner doesn't have any kind of catch up speed, or like a guy like Gardner who's long and can probably be a step or two behind and still make a play on the ball.
Yeah,
so,
and I would say this too. It's like people fall in love with that. The best thing to look is the film. That's going to show you everything you need to know. Game speed is different than 40 speed. It's all about it for a receiver. Can you run routes, especially in the NFL? Do you know what the defensive coverage is in? Because that's going to change the type of routes you're running. A man curl and a zone curl are completely different. So best thing is let's not get, too hyped up over some of these times. But overall, Group of Five showed out. They did what they were supposed to do at the Combine.
Yeah, I mean the Combine, and this last thing on this, and is it's an opportunity to address what might be a weakness or to confirm what you might think is a strength, right? If you look slow on film and then you go run a 4.4, it's like, okay, maybe you answered that question. And if you look fast and then you go run a 4.3, it confirms it. Like, okay, well, that confirms it. But those are some good. I really like those clips on Sauce Gardner. Now, what the sound bites I'm really looking forward to hear, Jeff, is this hotline. And again, do not forget to call this hotline. Leave your hottest take. We talk the most trash you can possibly talk. Say whatever you want to say to us, about us, just about your rival, about your friend, whatever you want to do. But Jeff, you got the best from this week.
I do.
So let's hear them.
I do. I had the top ones that called in, and again, man, if you got something you want to say, we want to hear your voice. We're all fans. I said this last week. We're all just fans, just like you guys, and we want to share the spotlight and share the love and give you guys a voice. So, got 3 emails here. The first one is actually from our very own Mr. Matthew Sprouse, called in, and he just quite wasn't over Derek Jeter, so let's
still not over it.
So let's take a look here, or listen, I should say.
Honestly, boys, I'm still fired up about this Jeter. I mean, didn't the guy divorce Mariah Carey? I mean, he had to be a huge piece of man for her to go run off to Eminem and then Nick Cannon.
I mean,
That's true.
Sprouse, you're spot on. I mean, you're spot on. Not only in baseball is the guy a piece of shit human being,
Yeah.
in his personal life too.
I mean, anytime, something that I've found out, I've learned, been on this earth 31, almost 32 years. And what I've learned, if you force a woman to go to Nick Cannon, you got a problem. And Derek Jeter has done that. That's all I got to say.
I will say I do like Nick Cannon and Drumline. Got me fired up.
Good flick.
It wasn't a bad movie. I'm with you there,
yeah.
Zeke. It was not a bad movie at all. All right. So then we had another voicemail that came in, and we have our suspicions, but if you call in, leave your name or your Twitter handle or social media handle or something. That way we know who you are and we can, give you love. And especially we're giving out some free merch this week to the best call. So make sure you leave that on the voicemail so we can get in touch with you. But this one did not leave a name, but I'm telling you, boys, it got me fired up. Let's listen to this.
Word has it, this is the Group of Five podcast hotline. Had a hot take. I was listening to the last podcast with Coach John Beam, and old Jeff Murphy starts going on about football's a brotherhood, and then John Beam jumps in and says the most important thing is finding a purpose higher than yourself and contributing everything that you have to the brothers on the team, and it becomes a brotherhood. And I'm here to tell you, hot take, they're 100% correct. And if you're able to give more than you are to the sport of football, you will get back more than you're ever worth. From your friends, from the men that you now call brothers. It's all buy-in. It's a purpose bigger than yourself. And football is the sport that you got to give everything that you have, every fiber of your being, just to be on the sidelines. And then, if you're lucky enough to have the opportunity to contribute on the field and make a play when your team needs it most, that's something even more special. And some guys have made a living out of it, and it's a damn fine privilege. But all in all, it's a brotherhood. When you invest more than you're ever capable, than you ever thought you could, you'll get back 10 times more than you ever thought this life was ever worth. Football is a brotherhood. Football is a religion. Godspeed, guys. I love you all.
It's incredible, man.
That guy needs to be. That reminded me of the miracle speech, Herb Brooks speech, dude.
I got three quick things. Last week, I said that he should be a politician, or 2 weeks ago, I said he should be a politician, run for president. When's it going to be? 2032, whatever. Now, hearing that version, he needs to be put on some tights, some long boots, sitting in the ring, calling out John Cena, telling him why he's a WWE champion, why he deserves the ring, like why he is, God's greatest gift on earth, because he just fires me up every day. I want to hear his voice when I wake up. Either that or I just see him sipping on his third glass of whiskey, calling this thing in front of the fire and just letting us have it. Why he just loves football. That is great. Great.
Yeah, his neighbor was probably out in the backyard at like 1 a.m. Like, what? Who in the hell is he talking
to? he's just walking around a tree, just like giving it all.
Honey, the neighbor's yelling at the phone again.
Man, incredible call. Awesome. Like I said, that's got to be our boy Jason Cahn's incredible voicemail. Got me fired up listening to it, and he's right. That's what we talk about, man. That's what football is. It's brotherhood. And that's what Group of Five is. That's why we're here, and we go to these stadiums, man. These tailgates. I mean, you guys so far have welcomed us with open arms, and it's just awesome. Anybody got anything else on that one?
I'm just ready to hear. I'm ready
for the next one, baby.
What you think was better than that?
I don't know. This one's pretty good. I got to say, this comes from our boy down in Charlotte, Jimmy Touchstone.
Green jacket.
Green jacket, baby. Called and left us and sent some pics in. So he's got a great tailgate story, and let's let the voicemail just speak for itself.
Group of Five guys. Hey, it's Jimmy Touchstone, your big Charlotte 49er fan, despite my family having all gone to Clemson. So, back in 2019, Clemson hosted my Charlotte team for a 7 p.m. kickoff in what was our first time in football playing a number one ranked team in the country. So my guys, who are the Delta Sigma Phi alumni group from UNC Charlotte, we hooked up with superfan Rob Dibble and his big tailgate crew. And Rob is the guy who bought the ambulance and converted it to a party wagon, which he calls Normulance, in honor of our mascot, Norm. You guys came to one of our tailgates, so you've witnessed that whole scene. But back to the Clemson game, right? So because of the Clemson connections I've got, we were able to get some really outstanding parking spots beside Clemson's Little John Coliseum where they play basketball. And in the area where we set up for our tailgate, we had about a 40-foot by 40-foot space between our tailgate setup and the entrance arena where nobody would park or use. So we set that up with canopies, with tents. We had bars going. We had a huge buffet spread. And I think actually the week before we showed up, we started promoting it on social media. So word got out. And if you fast forward from us, setting up at noon to what is the end of the tailgate where we do our traditional toast around 6 p.m., we probably topped out about 200 people crammed in that area. I mean, it was a party. It was a reunion. I mean, it was a gathering of family, of friends. Actually, later on, word got back to us from Clemson fans that they couldn't believe we did that we had set up right there, that no visiting team had ever infiltrated their sacred tailgating space like that and raised as much hell as we did. So we were pretty damn visible. But as I mentioned, Rob's tradition is to do a Niner toast before the tailgate breaks up and we head towards the stadium. So at the end, we're probably topped out about 200 people, and they're listening to me, who I was chosen to get to do the Niner toast speech, if you will. And so, if 6 hours of tailgating and doing multiple pickaxe shots wasn't enough, we wrap up with the Goldschlager toast. And if that wasn't enough, we thought it was a good idea for Rob, myself, and my two brothers, who are the Clemson guys, to go climb up on top of the ambulance and make a scene of ourselves right there in the middle of Tiger territory. So, we probably weren't the most sober we've ever been. But later on, we see pictures, and I'm up there with the pickaxe. Rob is stripped down to just his kilt. Yes, I did say kilt. And somehow they talked my brother into stripping down to his shorts. But we were on top of the ambulance. We were loud, but we were memorable. And at the end of the day, we brought the ambulance, we brought the pickaxe, we brought the crowd. We didn't win the game, but we certainly won the tailgate. And I would say that we left our group of 5 mark on a so-called Power 5 campus. Go Niners.
I mean, that's what it's all about, right, boys?
Love it.
Love it.
100%, man. And Jimmy, if you follow Jimmy on social media, that guy is an elite Charlotte fan. I mean, he's got
Big
a
time.
man cave set up that's, anybody would be jealous of. He's watching every single Charlotte sporting event, any sport. That guy's big time.
I mean, he's what a group of 5 guy is. Like, if you had to pick the perfect guy, like so far, in my opinion, that we've come across and met, I mean, he is a diehard 49er fan. Like you said, he goes to every event. He promotes everything that they do. I mean, that's what it's about, man. You go into enemy territory and just take over the tailgate like that.
Yeah.
Mark it off.
That's sweet. And that, I mean, we talked about that tailgate. I mean, we talked about that whole game being, we didn't think it would be like that. And those guys put on a tailgating clinic for us. So
that reminds me back for the group of 5 guys when me and Zeke Anderson went to Tuscaloosa, Alabama when MTSU played them there, and we had a pretty good tailgate session ourselves. That's what, like you said, don't be intimidated by
some beers.
Yeah, don't be intimidated by Power 5. They loved us. And a lot of times, a lot of people were like, a lot of teams don't try to tailgate and be friends with them. Granted, it's SEC. They're like, probably, F Alabama. We were just like, guarantee we can drink more beer than y'all. And we gave them a challenge.
That's all it is.
Gave them a challenge.
You know what? And then you're right, though. You leave that, and they're thinking like, man, them boys from Middle Tennessee or them boys from Charlotte have a damn good time.
Yep.
And, you just create that. You're not some small-time operation coming in there. The tailgate's a tailgate, man. And like, Beam said last week, football's football. But that's all we got. So we're going to send Jimmy some merch. Konzi, if you don't have any merch, I'll send you some your way. And up next, we've got the shotgun herd round the Sun Belt. Gavin Adcock coming up next. Our special guest has joined us right now. A few weeks ago, our boy Chad Lunsford was let go at Georgia Southern, and Swag Bear had some hot takes on what the cause of that was. Well, we've got the gentleman that did the shotgun on top of the school bus here with us right now, coming to us live, former Georgia Southern defensive lineman, country music star, Gavin Adcock. Gavin, thank you for coming on. Welcome to the Group of Five Guys, sir.
Thank y'all for having me on. Excited.
Well, I'll say this. It wasn't a few weeks ago. It was about a few months ago, Sprouse. You messed that up. A few months ago. And it came around whenever I had my atrocious award up. We love Chad Lunsford, Coach Lunsford, respect. Love Coach Lunsford. And then, this story just comes out. And I like to refer this as the shotgun herd across the Sun Belt. So I'm just going to go straight into it. Gavin, I want you to tell us what happened that day. That day, you're about to play Louisiana. You're on the bus. What happens? What goes through your head?
We just got to Dingus McGee's. We take a left right there. We're about to sing the Valley song. Georgia Southern players been singing the Valley song on the bus for years. And I lead the Valley song. I was singing it. And we're pulling by row, and there's tons of people. This is about as deep as I've ever seen it on row for a game. And this wasn't the first time somebody got on top of the bus, believe it or not. It was the first time somebody got caught on camera. There have been people getting on top of the bus ever since I got to Georgia Southern, going by the fraternities and sororities and getting everybody fired up. And I just got a beer tossed to me that day.
Is the bus moving still while you're on top of it?
Yeah, it was. It stopped for a second, and then it took off.
Do you know who threw you the beer?
Yeah, I do know the guy that threw me the beer.
Was it pre-planned?
No. On my family's life, I was just living in the moment. I just got up there. We were having a good time. I saw the dude down there, and I knew him. He made eye contact with me, flashed it to me, reared back, and I was like, give it to me. And it was running the triple option. That was the best completion we had all day.
So for the listeners out there, when you say you climbed on top of the bus, so at Georgia Southern, you take the yellow buses and you head to the stadium. It's just a tradition on the yellow school buses. So you're sitting there on the school bus, you're singing your hype song. Do you actually climb through the emergency hatch on top of the bus? That's how you do it. I don't think
I on the seats. I put my hands on the side and I pulled myself up there and got up there.
So you got up there.
So it wasn't like a cheerleading stunt, like nobody else.
No, nobody pushed me up there.
Was the team on the bus just like egging you on? I was like, yes, Gavin, do it.
They didn't care. Everybody was just having a good time, and we were headed to the game. Nobody cared.
Okay.
I got up there.
So the rumor is, and so on my what I was brought into from social media, because social media, it's a dangerous game, man. It's a dangerous game.
Yeah,
it struck me plenty of times. They want to spin this saying, okay, Louisiana beats Georgia Southern. Coach Lunsford's out. By the way, they also had a guy on top of the school bus shotgunning beers. Do you think that had anything to do with Coach Lunsford getting fired?
Well, so Tom Klein, I'll tell you what it started. It started with Tom Kleinline left, the old athletic director. Benko come in.
When that happened? When did he leave? Was he the one that hired Lunsford?
Yeah, Tom Kleinline hired Lunsford.
Okay.
Benko come in, and from the start, he really wanted Lunsford out of there. Like, we won the bowl in Louisiana, and if we'd have lost that, he would have been gone then. And he was just waiting for his opportunity to fire him, because when an athletic director comes in, they want to hire their own guy, especially for football. It's just like if they're over athletics, they want to be the person that hired that coach. And I honestly believe Jared Benko just did not want to run the triple option anymore. Coach Lunsford got the job. It was his first head coaching job ever. And the boosters around Statesboro had wanted the coach to run the triple option. And when that money's coming into the program and it's your first time ever being a head coach, you kind of do what you got to do to get that job. And Coach Lunsford, great coach, great person. Love Coach Lunsford. Me and him were tight. He got me to come play football down here. He's one that recruited me. And I believe if Coach Lunsford got another job, he would not run the triple option. I think it was just his only way to get the head coaching job.
That's fair. That's completely fair. So I have to ask this because of what people say on social media. What do you have to say to the people that think that you may have done this to promote your own brand? So we all know who Gavin Adcock is. We've heard your music. Was this a stunt for you to get more likes on social media?
No, it wasn't. I was just living in the moment. I was just being a college student. We were headed to the game. People were like, "Oh, you must have been drunk during the game." Nah, just that was one beer. Probably half of it got spilled on me. I was just living in the moment and doing what any other college student would have done if a beer would have got tossed to them. I mean, obviously, a lot of people wouldn't have got up on top of a bus, but I just did what any other college student would have
Here's
done.
the thing. It was only a couple weeks after that when I think it was the Purdue kid chugged a beer on the field. But here's the thing, Gavin. If y'all win that game, you are the man. I mean, you are like, what a badass, coolest moment ever.
Yeah.
But
I mean, I don't ever expect to lose. That was my first game back. I had a bad knee injury back in the spring, tore my knee up, had to have surgery, missed the first few games.
Up then.
Oh yeah, it was my first game back. I was ready to go. Like, I don't expect to lose. Like, I love to be competitive and try to win. So like, I had no like thought of losing that game. And
you had a handful of tackles, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a few tackles at TFL on fourth down. I did jump off sides one time. I got shit on for that.
Because you were drunk. God,
it's because I was drunk for sure.
That's what I told the coaches every time I fall started. Like, I'm shit.
Yeah, I'm drunk.
I mean, for me, I think it's pretty awesome. I can only imagine being on top of a bus, getting a beer in front of the student section. I mean, when I was on spring break my junior year, I was fortunate enough to do a stone cold slamming beers, getting the whole beach to say hell yeah. And I got that place rowdy. You did it for a football game. So I mean, that's pretty impressive. It is impressive, but I have to ask this question. So once the act is done, were players on the bus, were they fired up with it, or were coaches saying like, you know, damn it, Gavin, or I'm curious to know what the atmosphere was after the act was done.
You see, nobody knew about it besides like maybe another dude that was sitting at the front of the bus outside of the hole, and the dude that was sticking his head out the bus exit when I was standing up there. When the beer got tossed, he dove in, and nobody knew about it until the next day. And then Barstool Southern posted it on
of course.
They posted it on their account, and I mean, I didn't care. It really wasn't that big of a deal. I got Chad Lunsford fired deal is kind of bullcrap, because that was just straight up Jared Benko's shining moment to get Lunsford out of there, where the blame would be pinned on me, and everybody that loved Lunsford would shit on me and not on him.
Have they shit on you though? I mean, like in Statesboro right now.
I got it on Twitter for like a couple days, whatever. I mean, I don't really care what people think about me.
I mean, I'll tell you this: when me and Jesse were there, I mean, the students and anybody that we talked to, I don't think anybody had anything bad to say about you.
It was really just boosters and those 20 people on Twitter that like to talk crap behind the phone. But all the students, they loved it. They thought it was the coolest thing ever. Like, it's like just what college students do.
So there was never a point when you got done shotgunning the beer, because it seems like you told us this isn't the first time this has happened. You get in the locker room, you weren't thinking like, Oh, I may have joshed up here. You're thinking I got the team fired up, ready to roll.
Oh
Coach is
yeah,
not
the
even
whole
giving a shit.
school's fired
Gosh,
up.
Doug.
Everybody that was out there was fired up. I mean, nobody will ever forget that.
You like the double joshed up part.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I mean, this is fair. I respect it honestly. So, what was your initial punishment when this happened, or when they found out? I mean, I know that Coach Lunsford got the boot, but that because of you. But they get rid of Lunsford.
Well, they put it on Twitter. I think Big Frank posted on Twitter that I was suspended indefinitely, and nobody knows what indefinitely means on Twitter. They think it's just this awful punishment. Maybe I'm suspended forever. People were asking me if I was ever coming back. I was like, yeah, I don't even know what indefinitely means. It just means undefined amount of time.
Right.
So it was just, I got suspended for 2 weeks, and you were talking about the social media stuff. If that was any regret, I guess it was me making a joke about my last name. If everybody knows my last name, it is Adcock. It is it's a crazy last name. So like I joke about it. And yeah, I shouldn't have probably bragged that I got suspended 1 week for chugging a beer on top of a school bus.
So that was my last question, and that was where my atrocious word came in. I said maybe you shouldn't be going and bragging about just getting one suspension. So that was the drawing in the sand, right? So that's when they said, okay, we got to make more of an example and kick you off the team.
Yeah, well, they come up to me after the Troy game. We barely lost the Troy game too. I probably played like 20 snaps or something.
Mm-hmm.
Still off this knee injury. I really wasn't 100%. I was back weeks before I was supposed to be back. I just wanted to come back.
Yep. And
the coach come up to me after and showed me the picture, and they're like, "You got to quit posting on your social media." And I just straight up told him, I was like, "Look, if I can't post on my social media, then maybe I don't need to be here." And then
so you were just it was building up of just.
Yeah, and we cut. They called me in the office the next day, and they got in there, and I was like, "If y'all gonna make me stop posting on my social media for 8 to 10 weeks until I don't know the season's over, then I don't think I need to be around here anymore." And then they were like, "We think it's best if we go separate ways." So it was pretty mutual
agreement.
Yeah, they advertise it as they kick me off because everybody loves to swing the narrative, you know. Let's swing it our way so it looks better on us or whatever. But
hey, I know I get it. I mean, from an atrocious award and just me being just me, I was definitely. I respect the hustle, I respect the game. You're definitely guy I want to party with, but I was the one I was thinking, okay, well, did he get Chad Lunsford fired? Did he go and brag on social media? I appreciate you coming on here and letting us know exactly your side of the story, because I'll say it. I said it once, I'll say it again. If I had the opportunity to go on top of a school bus in front of the Greeks and shotgun a beer, I can't say I wouldn't do it. I can't say I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I would.
Well, here's the deal. The Greeks and the Greek row over there in Statesboro, and we touched on the Blue Room a little bit earlier. That place is a wild town. I mean, that is like a prototype college town. So, I mean, I'm sure that ain't the wildest thing you've ever done in Statesboro.
No, that was not the wildest thing I've ever done.
Is that what brought you to Statesboro, though? I mean, did you see the nightlife whenever you were getting recruited? Because
I mean, I've always liked to party ever since I was in high school with everybody. But I just wanted to play college football, and I got the opportunity to come down to Georgia Southern and be a preferred walk-on, and yeah, I loved the partying too. But it was just a mix of everything.
We have a few partiers over here. There he is. I mean, when it comes to being a college athlete, I mean, as a college student, a college athlete, you have to balance it out, right? I was one of the degenerates of MTSU. You know, I played in the games and stuff, but the coaches knew. They knew that I was going to go out and drink a keg of beer on Friday or Saturday night after the game. They knew that, like, in the summertime, I was doing pool Fridays. They knew what Zeke was doing, you know, on Saturday nights, and me, Murph, and Sprouse, we're all four right there. We enjoy alcohol. We partied. Now, if we didn't party, who knows? We might have been a lot better players, but we partied, right? I enjoyed my, 9 years in college. Just kidding. My 5 years in college, it was a great time. I mean, Murph and Zeke, they threw a lot of the parties at their houses. So how were you able to, balance out your party life with football? Were you able to make football a priority, and then you make sure you make time for partying?
I mean, I just tried to make both of them a priority.
There you go.
Hell yeah.
There you go.
I mean, there'd be times when I was a freshman, sophomore, and we'd go out 3 or 4 days a week. And I mean, as a freshman, we were just playing scout team, me and most of my buddies at the time. And we'd come to practice the next day and be hot as hell. We'd be sweating that vodka out and whiskey. We just keep on trucking, make every day.
That's where you become a man, right? When you can fight through that hangover at football practice, whenever you made bad decisions the night before, but hey, you live with it. Zeke Anderson would run 110s in summer workouts, still shit faced.
Yeah, I mean,
hey, who smell like liquor?
Yeah. Let me ask you this, Gavin. Hey, did y'all ever at MTSU? We had a routine as to where, especially in 2011, we were not a very good ball club. We did not live up to expectation. We were going about our final season about 2-10, our final record. So about after the game 6 or 7, we realized that we probably weren't going to, come together as a team, to be completely honest with you. So we made the most of it, made the best years of our life. And Thursday nights, we would go out to a bar where they would have $5. You pay $5 cover fee. You drink beer for free until 11 o'clock, bottlenecks. And then after 11 o'clock, you have free drafts. You could go in there and spend $5 and drink as much beer as you possibly wanted. They wonder why we went 2-10 that year. Because we'd have half the offense we'd have half the offense at this establishment on Thursday nights. And Zeke would usually be the one leading the charge.
I wish you had a time machine. We'd go back and crank up.
Yeah, you'd have been.
We'll get there one day.
With us.
You just come on up to Nash Vegas. We can figure it out.
Heck yeah. I went up to Nashville a few times in the past few months. Went up there and sang. It was a good time.
Oh, yeah. Where'd you sing at?
Lucky Bastard Saloon and Honky Tonk Central and Losers in Midtown.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
It was a good time. Damn drinks on Broadway are way too expensive. I had to take a flask.
Oh, yeah.
It didn't used to be like that now, Gavin. Broadway, it wasn't even like that when we were in college. You could go down there and go into some of them places for cheap, but hell, now it's $20 to park, $20 to walk in the door.
Yeah,
$8 a beer.
It was highway robbery. I went and bought me a $15 bottle of Jack and filled me up a flask and ordered Cokes.
Well, I can tell you this, going back to what Grisham said, I don't think he wanted to name the place, but it was Whiskey Dick's. And back in the day, he said we didn't come together as a team, but we came together. We came all together to the bar. And Whiskey Dick's, you could pay Shelly $20 and she lets you drink for free all night. And those are the prices that I'm talking about.
Heck yeah.
I'm talking.
I love when you know the bartender.
Or you just act like you know them. I mean, for me, that.
Oh, yeah.
Or I've just been that out of whack.
Off air, we'll have to tell you about the Swag Bear trap.
So you went up to Nashville. You've been up there. So you went up there for the music. Like that was the.
I'd never been before. People are always like, go up to Nashville. You're making country music, and I was like, all right. So I went up there and I just hopped on stage at a few places. I had a guitar player with me, and we're like, asked the band, we're like, let's get up here and sing something.
I'll tell you,
how'd it go? I mean, that's pretty courageous.
It was good. We got up there and sang at Honky Tonk Central. I really wasn't expecting to sing there, but it just kind of panned out that way. I talked to another woman, and I ended up going to sing with her and her band the next day. But when I sang at Honky Tonk Central, it was packed in there, and I really wasn't expecting it. We got up there and played a song, and the next week, Nashville was my number 2 city for streams across the world.
Man, I'll
nice.
tell you this, and these guys will tell you, I'm not. I mean, you look at me, I'm not really a country music kind of guy. But when we had Coach Lunsford on, and we talked about you, and we were talking about NIL and stuff, I was like, well, you know what? I'll support the guy. I mean, I like it. I like your stuff, man. And at first it was the "Ain't No Cure" song, and then when you put, I was listening to "Rowdy Southern Saturday" on repeat all the way to Statesboro, and
Heck yeah.
me and old Swag Bear certainly had a rowdy one.
Oh yeah.
We also played that before the App State Charlotte game. Remember at the Airbnb?
You had on the TV.
We
Yep.
threw him on the TV.
Heck yeah. Just recorded 3 more songs this weekend.
That's so I mean, you've been singing like since you were little, or what?
I mean, I've always loved to sing, and I've always thought I was a decent singer. But back in the spring, we were like 2 days from spring ball, and we were in Shells doing inside drill, and I tore my knee up, and it was pretty bad. I knew it was messed up as soon as I did it, and ended up having surgery, going back home for 6 weeks to just sit at the house, and that's not me. Like, I cannot just sit at the house. I'd lose my mind. So that night I made an Instagram, and the next day one of my buddies that plays guitar came down, and we recorded a song called "We Love Football" that I hadn't let out yet, but I'm gonna let it out next football season.
I'm pretty excited to hear that.
I put it on Instagram that Friday. We recorded it on Thursday. We put it out Friday, and it got like 9,000 streams first day. And I never made that Instagram before. And I was like, well, I'm going to be on my ass for a little bit. So I'm going to just start making cover videos and putting them on Instagram. People started liking them. Got linked up with this dude that played guitar, and I actually sang him "Ain't No Cure." It was like a third of the way written, and he started playing guitar to it right away. And I woke up the next morning and I finished writing it. And like a month later, we got in the studio and recorded it. And I just decided I was going to start letting out music.
So would you, if it wasn't for this past year and the NIL stuff, would you not have been able to, or would you just have not been able to get on iTunes and sell
I don't think I would have been able to get on iTunes. It was really just my luck. It was just a real lucky situation that the NIL stuff dropped on July 1st. I think that's when it was. And then I ended up letting out my first song in August. And it just rolled around at the right time. There was I saw that question you asked if the coaches would like give you a hard time about like music, and if I was like,
well, that was going to be my next question. I was curious once you've released some of your videos and NIL came around, were they more worried about is football your main focus, or is it music your main focus? Because even before NIL, I had coaches in college asking me, "Hey, is beer your main focus, or are you trying to play college football for us?" So I'm curious to know exactly what it was, how the coaches took your talent. Were they worried about you playing football, or worried about music?
They did a really good job supporting me for sure. Anybody that was having any NIL deals or any success with that, if you were in practice and you messed up or jumped out of your gap or missed a tackle, they might give you a smart comment and be like, "Oh, maybe it's because you're spending too much time doing this or that." Like, just
stop writing lyrics and watch film.
Yeah, I mean, they just give you a hard time about it from time to time, but it really wasn't too bad.
No doubt. I mean, when it comes to Statesboro, I'm going to bounce back a little bit when it comes to the party in Statesboro, because I want to give them more of a shout out, because I don't know if me and Sprouse were already a little lit when we got to the Blue Room, but that's one of the favorite bars. I've been to a lot of college campuses, Power 5, Group 5. That bar that night was absolutely lit, out of control. Like, was there 1,000 people there? It felt like there was
more than that.
This probably was. It's
the
Statesboro
party.
party.
What's the deal with that?
It's the Statesboro party and experience is unlike any other place. I mean, I have people come down from Athens and all the bars in Athens, and I'll be like, "Y'all ready for Statesboro?" They'll be like, "Oh yeah, we're ready. We're from Athens," and they always end up getting toted onto a sofa or dragged in the grass outside to get into the house. I mean, there's something about the air in this town that makes you just want to just drink till you fall asleep.
Word, I mean, telling you, it was a rough drive back from Statesboro to my home in Cumming, Georgia. I was hurting.
What's that? What's the shot they do?
The dead turtle.
The dead turtle. We did one of them. The Tabasco and something pickle juice or something.
What's his name, Sprouse? What was that punter's name? The dude was awesome.
Oh, Beck.
Yes,
yeah, he's
dude,
tight.
guy.
That guy knew the bartender
phenomenal.
at the Blue Room.
Heck yeah,
man,
Dude,
he was every 30 seconds re-upping on me.
I couldn't turn around without him handing me a freaking drink, and I was like, dude,
you got to slow down, bro.
You got 6 eyes right now. Please stop. And then there's people out like the main part of the bar is just thousands of just diverse people. Like I can't even explain, just diverse people. But outside, that's where everybody's smoking their cigs and just drinking their beer. And then one guy looks at somebody different. You get a little mosh pit brawl going. Bouncers kick them out. People replace that mosh pit. It was just ridiculous. But I told Sprouse, I said, this might be one of my favorite bars I've ever been to in college town.
Yeah, you gotta love the Statesboro experience, and all the women are beautiful. My buddies come down. I'm like, you'll never see women like you do down here. You better soak it in.
It's like notorious for that. It's funny because a guy I work with, I was like, man, I'm going to Statesboro, and he's like, dude, Statesboro is known for the bar scene and the women, and I was like, oh, okay, I mean, whatever. But I mean,
I'm from Miami, bro. You don't know who you're talking to.
Let me tell you. That is a different type of human being down there. But anyway, no, it was like it was weird because you just wouldn't think Statesboro, Georgia would be that over any other.
Statesboro is the Miami of Georgia.
Well, there ain't nothing to do. You either if you're a college football player, you're either practicing, watching film, making love at the bar, or studying, maybe.
I feel like that was on my wall in college.
And that's about all there is to do here.
Making love. I love it. I love that.
Well, Gavin, I mean, we definitely enjoyed it. We got to let you roll, but before we do that,
good.
we're gonna if you want to plug your music, where can anybody find your stuff? Where can they get it? Where can they support you?
Y'all can check me out on Apple Music, Spotify, YouTube, anywhere you can find music. And I got a new song coming out in April. It's called Whistling Wind. It's about moving on. I'm going to post a sneak peek of that on my Instagram tomorrow. The first time I let a little sneak peek out of it. It's about moving on or a new stepping stone in your life. I hope everybody enjoys it. Thank y'all for having me on.
Yeah, Gavin Adcock. Everybody check him out. Check him out. His music. You're on Spotify, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, check him out on Spotify. Give him some downloads. The guy can sing, and you got videos on YouTube. I mean, it's good stuff. We jammed out to it plenty of times.
All right, my man. We'll stay in touch.
That sounds good. I'll see y'all.
Thanks, Gavin.
See you.
Thank y'all.
Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Gavin Adcock. You got to hear his side of the story. A little interesting, a little different than maybe we thought happened, but I think if you read between the lines, you might it made a lot of sense. But we appreciate you coming on. Y'all make sure you download his music, support him. Make sure you follow us, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, at Group of Five Guys. Join the Facebook Group of Five Guys. And then don't forget, we got to keep this hotline rolling. We want, again, hottest takes. It's 615-900-4286. 615-900-4286. Leave a voicemail, talk some trash. Other than that, we'll see you when we see you. Group of Five Guys, we're out of here.